Assalamu alaikum to our audience and hello to everyone. I'm so happy that we have a wonderful guest for you today, Ruth Lusweti. Ruth, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm so happy that you could join us today.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited talking to you. This is the first time I've ever been in a talk show, so I'm very excited about it.
So let me introduce you, Ruth, to our audience today. Ruth Lusweti is an artist. She's a textile designer. She's an educationist, and she's also an author. She earned her Bachelor of Design degree from the National College of Arts, Lahore. She also has a Master of Science degree in entrepreneurship from Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in Kenya. And currently, she is a PhD student. She's doing her PhD in entrepreneurship. She is also faculty right now at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in Kitale, right?
Yes.
She has taught in various educational institutions throughout her career in Kenya and Botswana. I would like to begin with National College of Arts, also because I was a student there myself when you were a student at NCA. So you came all the way to Pakistan for your undergraduate studies. So if you can tell us why you chose Pakistan and why NCA, why the National College of Arts.
Okay, salam alaikum, all Pakistani friends, all family. I call you family because some of you I stayed with your families. I love you all. I'm so happy to be with you. Shalom, shalom, all the people there. As my friend has introduced me, my name is Ruth Lusweti. I started in NCA and finished in 1993. The reason why my family chose I go to NCA, my story begins that my father died when we were very young, and we were taken care of by my father's external family, his brothers and sisters. So they decided I needed the exposure away from Kenya since I've been studying in the local village. They felt that I could be a motivation and encourage other young girls to study. And so they decided to look for a country whereby I will be safe, a country where they appreciate Africans, a country whereby as a young girl I'll be in safe hands. So somehow Pakistan came on the line. There are other countries they could choose, but Pakistan stood out. And I'm very glad and very happy I was chosen to go to Pakistan. Then NCA came out because it was the best college that is in Pakistan. That is from their analysis, and actually they were right. I really appreciate having studied in NCA. It was a wonderful experience.
And you graduated with a degree in design and textile designing, right?
Yes. I was doing textile design. I graduated with a honor in textile design.
Oh, wonderful.
I appreciate that. We had very lovely teachers, very helpful teachers who really understood us, who came from the African background. You know, we don't have privileges like the Pakistani students had. Mm-hmm. So they understood us, they took us, all of us, stages of learning. Some of us had never seen a pencil color. Some of us had never seen drawing papers. So some of the privileges that Pakistani students have, the Pakistanis have, we don't have it.
Right.
So they understood where we are coming from. And I thank God they all assisted us. They all helped us. They motivated us. They encouraged us. And they were all loving, very loving and understanding to all of us.
Right. Did any particular professor stand out, or do you remember any of your professors as being especially helpful or inspirational?
All professors, all teachers were very good. All of them. I remember there was Sir Jeffrey was very good. Madam Talat, she was very hard. Yes. I would say she was hard, but Now I realize as a lecturer, she was the best lecturer because she was teaching us what is right, what is wrong, and she was teaching us some life principles whereby you have to keep time. Things like science was very sensitive.
Right.
Um, but very nice professors. You know, as a student, you see things from a different point of view. But when you grow up, you realize actually this is what she was helping more than education itself. She was helping us more than in terms of education, life skills.
So overall, then your experiences were positive in NCA, right?
Very, very positive, very positive. I advise, in fact, all other international students, when you go to a foreign country, work hard, enjoy your life, and those in Pakistan appreciate where you are. Pakistan is a beautiful country. People are lovely. People are caring. I enjoyed myself. One of the best memories in life is when I was in NCS. Those are the best memories in life.
Wonderful. That's so nice to hear. And so you spent 4 years in Pakistan.
Yes, yes, 4 years. Yes, 4 years. I think 4 years, 2 months, but at least 4 years. Yes.
Right. Did you learn any Urdu while you were here?
I learned, but with time, I think with time, without talking for the last, I think it is 20 or 30 years.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it corrodes. I can understand a bit, but not too much.
Right.
Things like Kudafis,
Yeah.
Salam alaikum, Ya Hale, then Dut Pati, then there was what?
How was it like growing up in Kenya?
Okay, I was born in a small town called Kitale. That is in western Kenya. That is where I grew up most of my life. I think my father died when I was about the age of 10.
So sorry.
And we are a large family. We are a very large family. In our family, we are 10. There are 6 boys and 6 girls. And I'm the firstborn. So I went to primary in Kitale Primary, which is a local area. Then secondary, I went to a nearby town called Lugulu Girls High School, where I did my A levels and my O levels. Growing up as a child, it was difficult because without a father, and as many as we are, with a mother, so we were taken care of by my uncles and my aunties. That is my father's side. And they brought us up well. They did everything for us. At least all of us managed to get degrees. So for me, being a firstborn, it's like I was the role model to the village. I was the role model to the family. So they wanted me to have the best education. So when I finished my A level, they decided I need to go outside the country. So they searched around for different countries, talked with different ambassadors, Kenyan ambassadors, high commissions. And among the countries that came up was Pakistan. So they wanted a place where I'll be safe, as I said earlier, where there's medication, good hospitals. And as a young girl, they knew they're sending me out there, and I'm straight from the village. No exposure at all.
Right.
So that is how I landed up in NCA. So my study, as I said, in NCA was very enjoyable. I loved NCA. I loved Pakistan. I loved everything about it. It's the highlight of my life until now. So when I finished my degree, design degree, I came back to Kenya. Unfortunately, by the time I was coming back, most textile companies were under recession or they were closing down because there was a lot of import of second-hand or used clothes from Western countries and used materials from Western countries. Now, the materials that were being brought in and the clothes, they were much more cheaper and of higher quality than the ones being produced in Kenya. So customers definitely shifted their attention from the local fabric, local products of textiles to the second hand. So this led to most of the industries to close. So when they closed, I stayed for 3 years without a job. I thought of business, but still business, you need money. And I didn't want to go back to ask my aunties, my uncles, give me money. They've already educated me, and I have younger sisters who they were, and brothers who they were educating. So I decided, let me go and teach. So I first joined my teaching college That is a town that is near Nairobi called Kirinyaga Technical. So I taught textile for about 3 years. Then later I realized even if I want to start a company, I need basic skills of money. Generally, I didn't know money. As a student, you only know money, how to handle money as a student. But I wanted to handle money as a profession.
Right.
So I would go to the bank. They would ask me questions. Do you know about credit? Do you know about debit? Do you know about income statements? And I had nothing. I didn't have that financial knowledge at all. And the people who I was asking, they were giving me in bits. So I said, why can't I go back to college just to learn about the financial side? So that is how I ended up going back to college.
Just go to college.
My master's. Yes, to go and do my master's in Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in Nairobi. So I finished my master's. And when I finished my master's, I saw an advert. They had advertised for jobs in Botswana. Botswana is in the southern side of Africa. It's a small country, but also very beautiful with a lot of resources. So I decided, why this is another chance for me to go outside the country and also help other African countries who don't have actually textile lecturers. So they took me and I worked there for about 12 years. And I thank God because that is where my kids were born. That is where I met my ex-husband, who was also a former NCA student. And we thank God everything went well. So far, I'm a mother of 3 girls. The first born is called Azaria, she's 17. The second born is called Alina, she's 14. And my last born is called Khadija.
Oh, nice. Wonderful names. You know, in Pakistan, we say mashallah when we hear that. Right?
Yes, mashallah, I know, mashallah. Yeah, we thank God for that. So they're all in boarding school. So after I worked for 12 years in Botswana, my contract ended. So I had to come back to Kenya. Now, coming back to Kenya was another challenge because the systems of Botswana are very different. Education systems are very different from the education system in Kenya. In Kenya, we have so many people who are educated with no job. Now, here am I coming in to join them. So it has been a problem from 2012 to present. I only do part-time lecturing because I can't get permanent employment. People are already in those positions. So I've been on doing part-time lecturing, and that is how I've ended up as lecturing.
You're also a student as well.
Yes, I'm a student. Yes, I'm a student of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, the same university.
Right.
I'm also a PhD student. So once I realized, when I was teaching, I realized many people have done their PhD, those who are my colleagues before, those who are in secondary school. So I asked myself, why am I being left behind? So let me also get extra knowledge. So I joined my PhD degree. Yes. I'm also an author. I've written a book on tie-dye. That was my first book, just giving patterns of tie-dye. It's found on Amazon, it's found on Study Pool, it's found generally on online.
Yes, so I actually wanted to ask you about your book, Ruth.
Yes.
So if you can tell us a little bit more about this is your first book, am I correct?
Yes, it was my first book. I wrote it a long time ago in 2012. My first book. Yes, the book is a textile design book. It mainly talks about textile design, print, tie-dye, especially for tie-dye. So it shows different patterns, how you can make different tie-dye patterns from stars to ramps to. So it details on how practically you can produce different textile tie-dye designs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mainly for people who are freshers or who are new or people who don't know anything about textile, about tie-dye.
go into textile design?
I think I'm torn in between two. I don't know whether to call I'm artist or a scientist. Because on one hand, I have a textile design. On the other hand, I have a master's of science in,
Right.
in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, in my home village, we never had textile colleges. We didn't have any textile colleges. We never had anything to do with the textile design, especially.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, I view that as a window. Many girls out there, they want to do something, but they don't know how to do it. Textile is viewed as a feminine type of whatever, feminine type of course.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was given a selection of which course I wanted to, I said I want to do something different that is not done in my village. And my dream was to come and build a textile college in my village to help those girls. Even if it's having 2 machines or 3 machines, or just having something to do with printing, at least they have that knowledge. So that is how I ended up in textiles. And I ended up loving it. I loved it so much. It's my passion. I love entrepreneurship, but if I'm to compare the two, I think I'll fall for the textile side more than the entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Textile, you see it, you make it, and the surprise is there. You see it. Entrepreneurship is you're sitting, you have to assess the number of students who pass, who fail. You assess based on your business, how it performed or it not performed.
Right.
Yes.
Well, you can be a textile designer and an entrepreneur as well, because if you start your own business, then in textiles, then it will be very handy to have all this extra training in entrepreneurship, of which you're also an expert. Yes. So I wanted to ask you, how are Kenyan textile designs different or similar to Pakistani textile designs? Are there any similarities, any differences, and any cultural influences?
There's a lot of difference in terms of culture. For us, we are surrounded with a lot of nature. We value our nature, animals, the trees, the birds, everything is in square, triangle. So we depict on fabric what we are thinking or what you're saying. You find somebody wearing fabric that has been written on some words meaning something, or sending a message, sending a message to somebody or people. So our textiles are mainly towards natural stuff, animals, whatever. And for us, it's like an elephant is drawn as an elephant the way it is. They hardly manipulate or change the way an elephant. It's like in real. It appears as real as it is. But when I think about Pakistani textiles, there's a lot of intrigueness in them. It's unique. It's like for us, it's bold, very bold pictures, very bold. But for you people, there's a lot of decoration. There's a lot that is put in, a lot of shiny stuff, a lot of beautiful to look at. Beautiful.
If you look at the different types of textiles and the designing involved in it, what do you prefer? What in particular are you interested in?
I'm very interested in tie-dye because this is something I can't control to a large extent. You tie a fabric, you dip it in fabric, in dye, and then you open it and you see it has a very beautiful design. Okay, there's block printing. Block printing, you can control it. You've made this block. When you print it, you expect this. Silk printing, you make a design, you put it on paper. At the end, you know how it's going to look at. So there's a lot of unpredictability in tie-dye. And the surprise part is what I love with tie-dye.
So do you have any plans of collaborating with textile designers or the textile industry in Pakistan, since you're so familiar with Pakistan and you spent 4 long years here?
Yes. I'm actually in collaboration with one of our classmates. He's dealing in textiles. We talked about business in terms of textiles, seeing what we can bring from Kenya to Pakistan and what can be brought from Pakistan to Kenya.
You did see how things are in Pakistan when you were here. So how would you compare the issues women face here with any kind of issues that women face in Kenya?
I think women in Pakistan are very privileged. they are very privileged in comparison to what we have in Kenya. In Kenya, I think we have two types of women. There are those who are born in urban areas or families of influence. And then there are those in the village, those who even don't know how to write, they don't know how, they are just living, it's like we are living in two different worlds, yet we are in the same country. Some of them, early marriages, they face issues like early marriages, there is no education, they have issues with hospital, they don't have hospitals, basic things like being overworked because there is no water, they have to walk for about 20 kilometers to get water, So uh, it's, it's two different worlds. Then there are those in the urban areas. Even if you're in an urban area, like I know from where I grew up, priority is given to the men because they believe the men are the owners of the home, the owners of the place. The women, you get married and go out. So they don't give priority to education. They feel once you're educated to a certain level, they stop you. There's a lot of fear of women who are educated. They say you can't get married, or when you get married, you'll end up divorced. So they try and pin down the women. So those are some of the problems women have. Then there's also some problems like some men feel inferior when they have an educated woman. They say, no, that one is too educated for you. Don't dare marry such a person. So they would rather go for this village girl who has no idea about life.
Right.
So it's like she's closed into herself. Then there are other issues like for the women especially, there are other issues like job wise. You find there's some positions you're told you can't get it because you're a woman, or you can't get it because you're not married. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Say, how can a woman head a whole place? You know, so and there's some men who feel like you can't be headed by a woman. So those are some of it's dying out. The gender, whatever the gender ministry is trying out its best. It's dying out. Some of these issues are dying out, but they're still there. Issues of rape cases are still there. Issues of girl child being left behind in most cases is still there. But we are moving forward slowly but surely.
How about the economic problems and the unemployment that you were talking about? Do you have any thoughts about that as to how it can be improved or why it is the way it is?
There's a lot of economic problems. People are unemployed. Many people who are graduates don't have jobs. People going to technical colleges, they don't have jobs. One of the biggest issues is most of our industries are closing down. Most of them they're closing down. Issues is because either mismanagement, that is one. I really don't know the reasons, but
right.
It's either mismanagement or alternatively the machines that were bought in the 60s, in the 70s are now updated. And now they cannot replace them because they were too expensive, they are too big, they don't know where to take them. How do you get rid of very big machines in a whole company? So that could be another reason. Okay. Then on the other hand is just population growth. And now people have gotten enlightened about education. Too many people growing, too many people in the world, and too many people who are educated. I tend to think the best way would be to divide, especially the youth, to divide them into groups and then give them not money, because if you give them money, they'll end up spending the money on the wrong thing.
Right.
Give them ideas. If they're in computers, maybe give them ideas on how to make computers themselves or make laptops for themselves. Or if somebody is in textile, look for the textile machines, give them in groups, they produce the textile whatever, and target our own local people first before we can target internationally. I was just impressed when I was working in Botswana. The textile students developed a bag, a bag for the kids, a school bag, and on it they have put a solar panel. So the kids can go to school while they are walking and they're recharging the solar light. Because in Africa, we don't have electricity in all places. So that bag, once they recharge it, they go back home and they carry their bulbs. And so now they have solar bulbs. I think that was quite creative. When you look at countries like Nigeria, they're also having their own laptops, So I tend to think at Kenya, if we headed towards that way, then we could also have our own product. Groups that they together in group of 200, 500, whatever, give them money, give them machines or equipment, and then they'll pick up.
Right.
Yeah, that is my opinion. And also, on the other hand, I was thinking we are more of a consumer society. We should think in terms of production. We should think in terms of manufacturing. Anything we consume, we should be able to manufacture. Anything we use, we should be able to produce. I think that way then we will solve this unemployment problem.
Right. Are you at the thesis level yet in your PhD? So I just wanted to ask you if you are, what's your thesis about?
I've not come up with the research. I'm doing the research part. I haven't come up with I haven't come up with the topic yet. I'm still thinking about it.
All right.
I hope it will be something to do with uplifting, something that will uplift small enterprises or small businesses. I'm focusing my mind on small businesses or cottage industries.
Right.
I foresee and think the way forward for Africa is cottage industry. Let us forget the big industry. Let's have small families having their own small businesses. Yeah, that's my opinion.
That will be very helpful. Yeah. So Ruth, based on your time at NCA, do you have any opinions, any thoughts about how institutions like NCA, not just the National College of Arts, can actually improve the experience of foreign students who come over to Pakistan?
Okay, I think the first thing, any institution that accommodates any foreign student, irrespective of Pakistan or whichever country, so long as a foreign student, they should have some form of orientation. They be told something.
Right. Did you have an orientation? I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. I didn't have any orientation. So it was hard for me to adjust because, as I said, I had just come from the village. My environment is very different. I think it's nice for people to get oriented and know what is right and what is wrong. I remember I once got into a bus and I didn't know men sit differently, the women sit differently. For us to walk in, you enter a bus, you sit anywhere. And when I sat, I wasn't understanding why the bus driver is so angry. What is he saying, you know? He went and stopped. When everybody was coming out, I'm also coming out. I'm not understanding. When they get in, I'm also getting. Then I also know the women have to sit in front and the men have to sit behind. Oh, you mean, sorry, I made that mistake. No, but orientation is good. The first thing is orientation to make international students understand. And for the African students, as I said, my environment is very different. Your world is faster than our world. Right. So they need time to be understood. Some of them just, I think, drop out because they can't keep up with the pace. You know, it's nice to be understood, to be introduced to other foreign students, especially African students who understand, so that they can mold them or talk to them through the process. Right. Yeah, I think, but generally, everything was okay. Everything was good. I loved it. Right. There isn't much I could say. And then another issue I had in NCA was in hostels, whereby they said the hostel is closing. Here am I as a foreign student. I don't know anybody. I have to go somewhere. You know? Right. So sometimes I used to go to Punjab University with a friend, to stay with a friend. But sometimes it also becomes a problem, you know. So looking for accommodation, I think it's also a bit of a problem for foreign students. At least I remember I talked to the warden, and then the warden said, no, you can't stay alone. And also because of your own security, for the security of the place and yourself, you can't stay alone in the whole hostel. So other such issues should be also considered for foreign students. Absolutely, yeah. And I think they should also always be open to getting feedback from students while they're there. Since we're talking about Pakistan, so what is your favorite dish? Is there any particular Pakistani food that you like? I remember, I think it was called naan. Yeah, bread, right? Yeah, bread with some seeds on top. Was it seeds or something? I don't remember what seeds they were. but some seeds, none with some seeds. And then there was chicken, the one they put on, I think that's not a tandoori, they put on.
Tandoori chicken, right. Charga.
Yes,
Right?
yes, yes. And I remember in NCA there was a restaurant just near a hostel. They used to sell very nice club sandwiches. I don't know the name, I don't remember, but anytime I went, I would point on the picture and say, I want this one. It was chicken mixed with some eggs. Very lovely food, very lovely food. And
Right.
think, wow, you guys are blessed to have so many sweets, very nice sweets, you know. From the time I left, I've never eaten those sweets again here. You guys are really blessed.
So you don't have like a Pakistani community over there, or not many people from Pakistan or India even?
No, Pakistani community mainly they are located in Nairobi.
Do you have any thoughts about the political scene in the United States of America? One of the very famous presidents, his father was from Kenya, so.
I knew you were going to ask me about Barack Obama. I think he was a good president, and generally he's also a good brother because he became a role model for most men in Kenya. He's also been very helpful to Kenyans. He's built a university in his home area. He's
Wonderful.
had many projects. Yes, he's had many projects in Kenya. So we really appreciate him and we thank him for what he's done. We thank for that we thank the US for giving him that opportunity to be their president.
Who is your inspiration, or what inspired you in life?
My grandmother. My grandmother, may she rest in peace, was called Ripora. She inspired me. She always told me, you can be whatever you want to be. Don't uh, put yourself in a little box just because you're a girl. You know. So she was saying you can do anything you want to do just because you are a girl. Not you can't do something because you are a girl. Look at it positively. Being a girl, look at it positively. And she loved textiles. She loved fabric. She would tell me, I want you to buy me a very nice dress. I want you to make me look good. So she inspired me to textiles. I think even in my book, I think I put her name in it just to thank her, to appreciate her as a grandmother. Then there was my uncle, who was also called Elijah. He's the one who really pushed for me to come and study in NCA. And he pushed me and told me from the time I was 11, he said, just know in your life, whatever you do, you have to get a degree. So I had no option, but I had to get it. And he told me, as my daughter, he would call me his daughter. Say, as my daughter, just know you have to get it. You cannot fail to get it. If you fail, then it means you failed the whole community. So everything is on your head. It's up to you. So I thank them, both of them. I would like to advise the African students. We know our situation in Africa. We are backward in terms of development, in terms of needs. We don't have access to many universities, many courses like any other country. So any African student that is outside there, remember you've been sent to study. Study and work hard. You're only not working hard for yourself, you're working hard for your family, you're also working hard for Africa, you're working hard for your community. You represent everybody. So when you're out there, behave well, respect the people you are with, because you are the one who determines whether the next generation will come to that college, that university, that country. Behave yourself, and then lastly, work hard. Then for all the students as youth, I'll tell them, enjoy your university life, enjoy your college life. This is something that comes once in a lifetime. Once you finish college, you are now in a different environment. You are in different, you are with different people. Enjoy, but enjoying does not mean you destroy your life. Enjoy, yes. Work hard, yes. Carry your name, your parents' name, your family name, and your country name, and lastly, your continent name. I thank the Pakistani government for having let African students go there. Not all countries accept Africans. I thank the Pakistani endowment for the scholarships they give the African students. I think they realized most of African countries don't have the money to educate their students. I highly appreciate that. I highly appreciate NCA for having welcomed us as foreign students, as African students, having given us the education that has changed our lives, changed our communities. I thank every Pakistani because if the Pakistanis did not accept us to come there, we couldn't be there. So every Pakistani has played a role in our lives. So I thank every Pakistani. Special thanks goes to the principals of MCA, all the teachers of MCA, my colleagues of other African students. Special thanks goes to them. And I encourage them to continue on helping fellow Africans, our African students. I thank them for everything they have done. With that, I also thank you. Thank you for bringing me on this show. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ruth, for joining me today.
Thank you too. Thank you too. God bless you. Thank you.
Allah Hafiz. God bless.
Salam to everybody. Salam to everybody else. Okay.
Allah Hafiz. Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz. Khuda Hafiz.